Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Bonnie and this is Happy Space Creates. Now this is a super different video to what my usual content is. Happy Space Creates is a channel that focuses on crafting and sewing related content. But as you can see by the video title, that is not what I'm talking about today. Today I am talking about my teeth journey and my experiences with fixed braces and Invisalign. So as you can see, I have fixed braces on the top of my mouth. Now this is a completely new addition. I have had my braces fitted for a week now. Now some of my regular watchers might think that I do look completely different. It is something that I'm getting used to, so do bear with me. And I might have a little tiny bit of a lisp. The reason why I think this is relevant is because I have fixed braces along the top, which in the UK is commonly known as train tracks. And then on the bottom, I do have Invisalign. So I actually don't know anyone who has been through their braces journey having two different types of braces at the same time, which is why I thought that this video could be quite useful to anybody else out there who is either going along the same kind of treatment plan as me, or who is maybe thinking between one or the other. So I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about what my first week in braces has been like. I got my braces fitted on Tuesday. I have been to a regular local orthodontist to me. They are actually like specialists in that field. Obviously an orthodontist only focus on straightening of the teeth. They are not a regular dentist. I do have a regular dentist as well who I visit regularly, but these guys are an orthodontist. Their name is Pallant Orthodontists. I'll just put their name down there in case you want to check them out, see what they do. They are based in Chichester, which is fairly local to where I live, so they are a smart choice for me because, as I will talk about in a moment, you do have to visit the dentist quite regularly. But I will be talking through the pros and cons of each. I actually never really felt like I had too many issues with my teeth. I know they weren't straight, but also I didn't feel like they were horrific either. I've never been ashamed of smiling. Like, I'm quite a smiley person. Obviously I've got loads of videos where I'm talking on camera quite freely, and my teeth are visible the whole time, so it's never something that I've shied away from. It isn't particularly an insecurity of mine. The teeth straightening for me kind of started from like two reasons really. One, because we are getting married next year, and of course you are going to look at those pictures for the rest of your life. And it is something that I have considered doing in the past. Now, a couple of my friends have gone along their teeth straightening journey as well. One of my best friends has just finished hers. One of my friends is currently within his. And then also my partner, Chris, has also started braces along the same time as me. He's just not really a camera kind of guy and doesn't really want to do it on camera. But we are going through this together, which is a really lovely experience. He started a few weeks before me, but everyone's treatment plan is completely different, which I will discuss again in a moment. The whole process started around about 6 to 8 weeks ago. I sent my just basic pictures on my camera phone off to the orthodontist office, and then they phoned us and they were basically just giving us like a rough price and then also like a rough time frame of how long it would take. So after I had my initial telephone consultation, I went into the office, and what they do is they sit you down, they take really professional pictures of your teeth, and they show you like your side profiles and how your jaw's sitting, and they talk to you a little bit about what your main focuses are, what you're looking to change, and kind of what your expectations are for the treatment. So I will post a little picture of what my teeth look like starting. They pretty much look like this. They haven't changed, it's only been a week. So basically my two front teeth here, they're not in proportion to my front two teeth. I've got like kind of like rabbit looking teeth at the front. They come down quite low, and then these two teeth on the side are twisted out. Now, my teeth have gradually got worse as I've got older due to the growth of my wisdom teeth. When my wisdom teeth grew through, it pushed a lot of my teeth forward. So unfortunately, the front of my teeth, where everyone can see, became quite crowded, which is why I decided to do this now. I've now had my wisdom teeth removed, and there's space in my mouth for these things to move back to where they once originally were. So yeah, I was actually dreading that experience because I thought they would have to do that horrific molding liquid. I don't know if you've ever had that done before for like a retainer or something, or anything really. I had it done when I was a child, and it's like a goo that they put on this like plate and then they push it in, and it's just the worst, and you gag, and it's just ugh. I was dreading that because I thought it would be one of those old school like moulding things, but technology has obviously come a long way, and they now use this like 3D scanning thing. So they just put this like camera in your mouth and they take a picture of your tooth from every angle, and that helps them, you know, gauge a digital image of what your teeth look like. So they did that. They looked at the health of my teeth and, you know, if they thought that they were suitable for braces, and they also looked at the proportions of my jaw and how moving the teeth would change things. So it was a really sort of like comprehensive exam, and it was a real interactive exam as well, because I got a chance to talk about what my expectations were for the treatment, express any concerns that I had. So if you are just starting and you haven't been for your consultation yet, I would suggest taking some time to sit down and think about what those things are. Think about the reasons why you're doing it, and think about what your expectations are, you know, if you have a time frame in mind, because they want you to get the best out of your treatment, and you know, you're paying for it at the end of the day. So I did tell them that I had my wedding coming up, and I did tell them that I kind of didn't want them to be as visible because of YouTube, and because I've got quite a customer facing job, and where I am quite smiley, I don't feel like I can hide them. So I did want them to be as subtle as possible, but without compromising on the level of treatment or finish that I was going to get. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the differences between a fixed brace and Invisalign. So fixed braces, as you can see, I do have brackets on each tooth, and these are bonded onto my teeth with some kind of dental glue. I'm assuming it's safe for your teeth, otherwise they wouldn't do it. But I do actually have, if I move a bit closer, these are actually ceramic. So they're see-through, which is great. You can't see it. I have a really skinny little bar across the front. And then, as you can see, these are my wonky teeth here. And then towards the back, they are metal, but nobody can really see that. So this is what's called a fixed brace, otherwise known as train tracks. Now the reason it's known as train tracks is because each one of those brackets is what's known as either an active or a passive bracket. So that means that my orthodontist can almost kind of switch on and turn off what each bracket is doing. So say for instance, these ones at the moment, these two, they're not moving, so those are passive. So there is no pulling or tugging on those teeth. These ones here, the ones that are trying to move, these are active, which means he's opened that little bracket, allowing the wire to pull those teeth. Whereas these ones at the front aren't closed, therefore the wire is not putting any pressure on those teeth. I hope I've explained that well. So eventually, because some of them are pulling and some of them aren't, they will move into different places, and the wire helps straighten everything up. So there is all kinds of different forces being played at hand on those teeth. Now, because there are different forces being played, obviously there is going to be some discomfort. So when I got these fitted on the first day, I didn't actually really feel anything, but the next day I did wake up, and I ain't gonna lie to you, if you want this video to tell you that it's a breeze, then you need to click off right now, because that is not true. So for the first 4 days, I would say, there was an incredible amount of discomfort. Now, I've never had any teeth kind of done before, so I didn't really know what to expect, but I did suffer quite a lot with my wisdom teeth. So I did kind of know what tooth pain felt like. This was different. This was really different. So it was kind of like, it felt like I just had wobbly teeth. Like as a child, you have like a little wobbly tooth that you kind of like catch and then you're like, oh, but it kind of felt like that on all of my top teeth. And I think that is just kind of like the shock that your teeth go into. They're not quite sure what's going on, what's happening. It's a new thing. So they were tender for the first 4 days. So you can only have soft foods, you know, you can't have anything crunchy, no biting into apples, carrots, anything like that, because these brackets can pop off if you're not careful. And obviously that then has to be fixed. And it just puts you back in the process. So you are asked you are asked to eat soft foods in order to make it a more comfortable experience for you and also to minimise the risk of damaging the brackets. So for the first 4 days, these ones were obviously tender, and they're quite like prominent on your teeth. So your lip kind of does scrape on them quite a lot. Again, what I will say is for the first 4 days, these felt like completely alien within my mouth. First of all, they felt like they were sticking out around 2 meters, and they felt so sore. They were scraping. I was a horrible person to be around. But you pop a couple of paracetamol and it does feel better. You know, you can get through your day. It was just particularly hard and tender to eat with, and they were very sensitive when I was brushing them. But I'm now a week in and I don't notice them anymore. It is crazy how quickly your body does adjust to these things. My lips are no longer scraping, and it is just generally a lot more comfortable. So I will say that it's a hard week and you will get over it and they will feel part of you after a while. What I have found really interesting this week is my bite has changed. So my teeth have now moved slightly, meaning that for the last 30 years where my teeth have touched in a certain way, they are now all moving at different rates. So some of my teeth no longer touch, or some of my teeth touch in a weird way and it's uncomfortable. So I just want to make you aware of that because I feel like no one told me that. So you will eat in a completely different way to what you usually did. I'm now eating on a different side or or my front teeth. I'm eating with my front teeth because it's just like a weird experience of not, you know, eating is such a subconscious, you just do it without even thinking about it. And suddenly I am eating and I'm having to think about what I'm doing. So there is an element of fatigue that takes place when you are eating. You are conscious to cut up your food small so that you don't have to chew so ferociously. And you are chewing a lot to make sure that you've like got it all sort of ready to swallow. So yeah, so it has been a bit of a weird experience and it is quite tiring eating. So my portions have been a lot smaller just because I'm finding it quite tiring. And then obviously moving on to dental hygiene, with having braces, and obviously there are areas where food can get trapped, you do obviously need to brush your teeth after every meal, partly for like appearance as well in case you've got food stuck in it, but mostly because obviously you don't want food stuck in those hard to reach areas that are then going to turn into bacteria and cause you tooth decay. So be prepared to brush your teeth a lot more than maybe what you usually did. I always used to brush my teeth morning and evening, and now obviously I brush my teeth at lunchtime as well. So hygiene wise for me, it isn't really like a massive deal, like it's just one extra toothbrush. But you also have to soak your Invisalign in these cleaning tablets. So I just use like denture tablets in like a little bowl, and you just pop them in there for 15 minutes. And just to make sure that there's no bacteria like getting stuck in all like the little crevices of the aligners, because obviously you clip them onto your teeth. So if anything is stuck in the aligner, it will then stick onto your teeth and be trapped there for 22 hours of the day, which of course can then cause tooth decay. So you do need to make sure that you are keeping your appliances clean, and you're also keeping your teeth clean as well. And that is just gonna help. First of all, obviously you don't want bacteria and like bad breath, but also it's just gonna make the process a lot more comfortable for you and have less problems in the future. The orthodontist does give you a little care kit. Inside the care kit, you get a little brusharoo to get around all the little brackets, because as you can imagine, foods do get trapped in there. You also get these little tiny cute brushes. So these are like called interdental brushes. You can get these like in Boots and stuff, and these are really good for getting in and around like the tighter wires. So they're great. I just pop a little one of these in the little baggie, and it's great for just in a rush if you're out, just to like sort of give it a quick once over, just to check you haven't got any like herbs or anything stuck in your teeth. You also get this orthodontist wax. Now, this has been a godsend this week because, as I said, they do rub. And this is like a little clump of wax. And what you do is you just soften it up with your hands. You pinch a little bit off, and then you kind of roll it into a little ball. And then what you want to do is whichever bracket is bothering you, you just kind of take a little bit of tissue, dry the bracket off, because if it's wet with saliva it won't stick. So just dry the little bracket and then lay the wax over the metal bracket, and just make sure it's covering any of the sharp edges, and that does give you instant relief from the scraping edge. And because the wax is smooth, your saliva eventually moistens it up and your lips just glide over it, which does make it a lot more comfortable. So don't just tough it out and sit there scraping the insides of your mouth. Do cover it in wax if it's uncomfortable, and it just makes it a little bit more manageable getting through the week. So whenever you've got a sharp bit, just put some wax over the top and it does heal really quickly. Also, things like Bonjela and Igloo help with the actual sores inside your mouth. So that's pretty much my fixed braces. The great thing about having the fixed braces, which is different to the Invisalign, is that I obviously can eat and drink whenever I want. Now that is different to the Invisalign. So the Invisalign is a newer form of braces, and they are known as aligners, and they are actually pretty much clear. Like, you can't really see that I have anything on there. But how the aligners work is they are, I'll just show you one actually. So they are little tiny, like plasticky, they're pretty much like a thin plastic, and you get a different tray, sometimes every week, sometimes every 10 days, 2 weeks, it depends on what your plan is. But they are quite thin and they clip over your teeth completely, like a mouth shield if you were into sport. These ones are only attached to the front of my teeth, so the inside of my mouth is actually very, very smooth, which is kind of sometimes gives you a bit of a lisp, but you do get used to it really quickly. So these are covering my teeth front and back. Now, they're thin, but how front and back aligner works is that it's providing pressure from both sides of the teeth. And you get different trays, and they are marginally different every week. So it is a slow process, and also it is very measured. Because it is measured, I would like to say there is barely any pain. I can't really comment on that because I mainly felt the pain from the top of my teeth with the fixed braces, because there was a lot of pressure quickly. Whereas the bottom aligners, I didn't really feel any discomfort from. But I am due to change trays, and obviously you are moving it slightly each time. So there is potentially pressure that you feel each time you change a tray. I probably wouldn't describe it as pain. The difference with the aligners is that you have to have these in for 22 out of 24 hours. So you are only allowed to remove them when you are eating. So around about 30 to 40 minutes 3 times a day to eat breakfast, lunch and dinner, which does mean absolutely no snacking. The kind of job that I have, I don't have any, I'm not really like a regular lunch break taker. I kind of like have a little 11s and then I have like a little 4 o'clock snack. I'm not really like a sit down, eat a sandwich kind of person. And this week has been tough, but I kind of am a lunch person now. I'm a lunch person. I will make a sandwich now. So these I sleep in, and when you've got your aligners in, you are only allowed to drink water. This is what my orthodontist said. You're only allowed to drink water, and they have to be in for 22 hours of the day because they are moving the teeth and holding the teeth in place until they kind of set in that position, and then they'll move them slightly again the following week or the following 2 weeks, depending on how long your teeth take to get there. With the Invisalign, I do have what is known as attachments. So they're basically tooth-coloured brackets on my teeth. But like with the top brackets, when you take the aligners out, those little nodules on your teeth can feel quite sharp. So you do still get the odd bit of scraping from the nodules when the aligners are off. When the aligners are in your mouth, they are really smooth. Like, it's just basically like wearing a gum shield. The only thing I will say about the aligners is that I have been a dribbling mess. There has been a lot of dribbling where I just feel like I'm constantly going, but I have noticed throughout the week it has got a little bit better. So with the aligners, like I said, you move your teeth like weekly or fortnightly, depending on what your plan is. And I basically have like 2 boxes, and inside I have like never-ending amounts of aligners. And how my orthodontists do it is I have an app on my phone called Dental Monitoring, and they send you like a little scan box. I think it's called a scan box, and basically you put it onto your camera phone and you take these little pictures of your teeth, and that gets sent directly to my orthodontist, so I don't even have to go there. And they will then tell me whether yes, I can change aligners, or no, stay in the ones that you've got for a few more days, and then you re-scan. So it's kind of like a dental appointment without leaving your house. So it is super, super convenient. I did my scan this morning and it's been sent off to the orthodontist's office, and usually they take a couple of hours to look at them, and then they will message you back and say yes or no. But the great thing is that you don't need to go to the dentist that often. Like, I won't be getting new trays for 6 months. So if I just had Invisalign top and bottom, it is unlikely I would be seeing my orthodontist for 6 months. But with my fixed braces, I do need to go and get these adjusted more regularly, because as the teeth move, there will be kind of like slack on the wire. And obviously that's not doing anything then. So they need to go and have an adjustment or tightening. And I reckon that will probably be around 12 weeks, which is obviously kind of regular. But like I said, it's local and it isn't really a massive inconvenience for me. But if you don't live near your orthodontist, Invisalign might be a good option for you. So yeah, in around 12 weeks, I will have my fixed braces adjusted, and they will tighten them and make any changes that they need to do. And I am expecting that process to be painful again. Kind of not as bad as maybe the first time, but I am kind of prepared for it to be as bad as the first time. So yeah, that is basically my tooth journey week at the moment. So that's where I'm starting at right now. I will probably do another video in around about 6 months, just so I can have like a bit of a visual kind of marker as to where I've been. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Just pop them in the comments box down below. I might not know the answer because it's new to me as well, but I would also love to hear about your experiences also. And if you want to see how I get along, do click the subscribe button, and I'm going to see you really, really soon. Bye!